Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for Steve Arts89. Well, I just watched the preview for Season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy and I can see why it was cancelled. Oh god. Okay, so the first season was ridiculous because basically it was a bunch of kids just stumbling across a starship out on some planet somewhere and then just like hijacking it and using it to try and escape this Darth Vader character, because it was basically a Star Wars show, because it's basically a ragtag group of rebels fighting some, emperor chasing them. It's just who, one of them is related to. It's just totally Star Wars. And basically they just want to have a bunch of kids on a ship because they think kids are stupid and they can only relate to other kids, and they just want to see kids doing things which, if they weren't stupid kids, they'd know, no kid would ever be in that position to run a starship. But they kind of pulled it off with the idea of this abandoned ship, them finding it, and them, having this hologram to sort of help them to, run the ship. And it was almost plausible. It was, pandering to, what they thought kids would want, but at least they sort of almost made it work. And the characters were good and the stories were good. Just the overall premise was not Star Trek and just not good. But this is even worse. Now, Captain Janeway is enlisting these kids to go on a secret mission with her to deal with some time thing. And I'm like, it's the MacGuffin for the season, who cares? But really? We're supposed to believe these kids are running a proper starship, just the kids? And one or two, like, it seems to just be Janeway and the kids. And I'm like, and the holographic doctor, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, this is just infantile and insulting. I mean, even a kid watching this would just, of any intelligence, would know that you can't have 5 kids running a starship. And if there is a whole crew on the ship, they apparently are just don't happen to be in any of the locations or any of the halls or any of the other parts of the ship that these characters are in at any time, because you only see basically the 2 sort of command officers and them. That's it. So if they'd actually, what they should have done, oh my god, yeah, what they should have done was just done Starfleet Academy with these guys. Like, now they've been brought into the Federation, now they're going to train to actually be Starfleet cadets and actually go on missions and go on training missions. That's how they should have done Starfleet Academy. It would have been a crossover, and maybe a live action version, have these guys all in live action. That could have worked. That could have been interesting. Do it in, the Star Trek time, which is the 21st century and 24th century, well, now the 21st century, but they didn't do that. So that was one way Starfleet Academy could have worked. The other thing I think would have worked would have been an anthology show where they sort of start off at the sort of start of the Federation, where you see and tell the same sort of stories that they're trying to tell in the 31st century of the founding of the Federation rather than the rebuilding of the Federation, and then move forward to Pike's era when he was a student and a cadet, and then Kirk's era and Picard's era, and you could sort of do a year or so of each sort of generation of characters, and it could be like an anthology show covering the whole of Star Trek, where you got to see Starfleet Academy and the young kids, but also you got to see what was happening in Starfleet at the time. There are so many things they could have done with that show that people like me can think of that's better than what they're doing. But so Prodigy, oh my god, looks awful. I can't believe how insulting they're being to the audience to expect us to believe these kids would just be treated like proper cadets and they would actually go on missions instead of actual trained officers. It's just infantile and puerile and just insulting, and just the characters deserve better. Because the characters aren't bad, the voice actors aren't bad, the animation is beautiful, but it's just this stupid pandering kiddie show. And this season 2 is just 10 times as bad, because before they sort of did it outside of the Federation and you could kind of go with it, but now the idea of they've just been brought into the Federation just because Janeway likes them. Now they get to basically take the jobs of actual Starfleet officers and run starships and have all these important adventures that no one would risk Starfleet on these kids. I don't need to explain to you how stupid this is. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I know it's supposed to be for kids, but not even kids are this stupid. I was a kid. I was not this stupid. I would not have bought this show then. I have to stop.